Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with your host, Gabriel Mazar. On today's episode, Gabriel interviews renowned spine surgeon, Dr. Ken Hansraj. They discuss how his experience and research led him to create Lift Meditations for Back Health and his book, Watch Your Back, 9 Strategies to Reduce Neck and Back Pain Without Surgery. And now here's your host, personal trainer and stretch therapist, Gabriel Mazar.
Welcome back to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People. I'm your host, Gabby Mazar, and on today's episode, I have Dr. Ken Hansraj. He's a renowned spinal surgeon and has come on the show today to talk about posture and meditation for back pain. So welcome to the show, Dr. Ken.
Thank you, Gabby. It's such a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm super excited because these two things really kind of mesh with me and my profession. So with Pilates and personal training and my field, posture is so incredibly important, and that's what we work on every single day. So I'm really excited to talk about this. And you, as a spinal surgeon, have kind of taken your career and your knowledge and done something a little bit different. And you are doing or have done research a little bit differently with your book that you created and the 5 forces. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I was busy being a surgeon, and we were really busy. And so I came from an academic background, and I wanted to do something to help humanity. Insane as it is, that's crazy. What a premise. We wanted to help the world. And so we're busy operating, and we're busy surgeons. And so then we started doing studies. So first we did the text neck study. So the text neck study says, hey, when your head is straight up, it weighs 10 pounds and incrementally increases at 15 degrees, 27 pounds of force on the neck. And at 60 degrees, 60 pounds of force. Well, we use the highest level mathematics called finite element assessment. And this study was received, so it was broken. The study was broken by CBS Good Morning. And when CBS Good Morning released it, something amazing happened. Instantaneously, the study went global. Every single television channel on the planet carried it. Every single online medium, every single newspaper. So for example, I was coming home and I got a call from ABC, and I said, they said, we want an interview. And I said, sure, let's schedule it. They go, no, we want an interview now. And then they said, we're the Australian Broadcasting Company. And so what they did, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, what they did was, they did an interview and they released it on every single Australian and New Zealand newspaper, magazine, radio. I mean, it went just global. And so we were surprised that we did help the world, but the message is to keep your head up.
Yeah, posture. So what are the 5 forces that you studied? Because obviously we know that people are on their computers. I tell the people all the time, the things that we do the most. We're on our phones, we're on our computers, we're driving. So we're constantly forward moving or forward rounded shoulders. So posture is so important to keep your shoulders back and keep your head up. But what are the other 4 forces that you studied that were so important?
So we developed, we were playful. We were not the world's greatest scientists. We were just playful. Mm-hmm. My team, we wanted some New York Times and LA Times, and we wanted some presence in the world. And when we got it, it came with a price. It was amazing. What happened was almost every country restudied our data, and we're going, oh my goodness, that's not what we counted for. And luckily they said, yes, it's indeed it's correct. And the toughest was Der Spiegel in Germany. They called me and they said, we're having problems with your data and we're going to rescind what we said to our readers. And I'm like, oh no. And then they studied it again, and I learned the difference between pounds and pounds of force, right? And so we're really talking about pounds of force, not pounds. And so, but our study was accepted globally. And then incidentally, and maybe accidentally, and definitely playfully, we found out that we have an amazing model, a finite element model, which was battle tested globally. And so we started studying other things. And so we did breast forces on the spine. You can find this data online. And with breast forces on the spine, what we studied was, and it's actually easy, because the mass of every breast size is published. And so my team, we imported the breast masses per size per commercially available size for US and UK. And then we applied it to our model, and we got the force. So I think like a 36D in a woman obviously is, wait, and today you have to be very careful. A 36D and 36D. 36D is about 28 pounds of force. And I don't have the numbers in front of me, but when you lean forward in poor posture, it's about 34 pounds of force. It's 1.4 times. So we did breast forces on the spine. The breast force study got a few television pieces and so on, but it didn't really, people around the planet are not really comfortable discussing this area.
Right.
So Gabby, then we did the backpack forces on the spine. And so with backpack forces on the spine, we hit it out globally again. CBS News came in and they interviewed a young girl who was suffering with posture. And we showed how she got over it with pelvic stabilization and training and really strengthening the core muscles of the spine, which you know all so much about. Mm-hmm. And so, she got over it, and she was able to carry her backpack of 40 pounds. But CBS News broke it, and that was another global piece. And we found that 1 pound in a backpack weighs 7 pounds to the spine. And when you lean forward 20 degrees, that 1 pound becomes 12 pounds. So an American soldier carrying 100 pounds on his backpack daily for hours, an American soldier, when he carries 100 pounds, it weighs 770 to the spine. And then it weighs 1220 when he leans forward, like that. And so that was our third study. The fourth study we did is about to publish. It's called Belly Fat Forces on the Spine. So the Dallas Heart Study has data with belly fat masses per waist circumference size. Can you imagine? They did a study with thousands of people, and they recorded the masses. Now the guys are really, really nice, and they made their data available to me, and I'm thankful to them. But I don't believe that anyone can really use the masses. What can you do if you have a 28 waist and 32 ounces of belly fat, right? So I'm really grateful. That doesn't sound very grateful. I'm really grateful to my colleagues. And so especially Ian Nealon was sweet. He just helped me so much. And so we took their masses and we applied it to our finite element assessment, which is a kind of mathematics that you would use for designing a space shuttle. And then we came up with the exact forces. Like you can say, hey, if you have a 50-inch waist, then you have typically 90 pounds of force, or 8 12-pound bowling balls. And incidentally, which is amazing, we found that the Dallas Heart Study found that different ethnicities have different profiles of fat. So Black people have more fat than white people and Hispanic people, for example. And so that was found, and I'm very careful stating it. And so then when we converted the masses to the forces, then that became amplified. And it certainly is shown that different ethnicities have different fat content. And finally, we did a study that's not yet published in which everybody tells you that you should, and I'm sure you tell your clients, lift close to your spine, right? And so what you're doing is intuition, which is the smartest, and what a mom would say, and which is still the smartest. But we use mathematics to say that when you lift close to the spine, when you lift an item close to your spine, it weighs 1/2 times the weight to the spine. And 45 degrees out, it's 2 times the weight. And if it's 90 degrees out, it is 4 times the weight. So those are the studies we did. I'm so happy to have done them. And they're such a contribution to people everywhere.
Yeah, because we don't realize how much of an impact on our spine we're making when we're just doing our daily activities, when we're just doing work or sitting at a computer. And especially now in this Zoom world where we're sitting at a computer all day long and not standing and not walking, we're really creating poor posture every single day and not doing anything to counteract what we're doing with leaning forward and the force that we're putting on our spine. So that's what's causing a lot of people, I'm sure, terrible back pain and neck pain, shoulder pain that can be counteracted. There's a lot of exercises and a lot of meditations, which we're actually going to get into, that you can do to help with back pain. So you created this meditation series for back pain. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your meditations? It's called Lift, and you created it and called it Lift for a reason. Can you tell us why?
So we created Lift. My producers, Jay and Greg, they're both doctors, and Joe Dispenza, Greg Knowles, and Jay Fallon. These guys are celebrated. I wish to just take a moment to thank them for allowing me into the studio. These guys are really, really celebrated, Grammy associated guys. And it was truly a love that led to the project of Lift. So the project of Lift is an effort to help people who lift every day. One, to understand how much they lift. So Gabby, you would be amazed, right? So the guy that delivers a Federal Express package for you, the minimum he's doing is 1,000 pounds a day, 1,000 pounds a day times 5 days a week times 50 weeks a year. It's minimum 1 million pounds a year. But more than likely he's doing 1.5 that for 6 million pounds a year. So the guys are doing between, they're doing between 1 to 1.5 million pounds a year minimally. And there's a magnification factor in terms of the day. And so the Lift, Who Am I meditation helps you to quantify. If you're a regular person, you're lifting like 18,000 pounds a year, just lifting the laundry, things like that. But then there are magnifiers, Gabby, there are magnifiers. So when you lift an item, there's a magnification force to the spine. And so the first meditation, which is Lift, Who Am I, helps you to understand how much you lift every year. And it helps you to understand what is good posture.
So you try to reach everyday people that do everyday things. And like I said, in our everyday work, we are lifting, even just laundry, not the UPS driver, or someone that works at the grocery store, or someone that works at IKEA, or someone who is doing just everyday things is lifting. I mean, me who teaches Pilates and owns a Pilates studio, I'm lifting every single day. I lift between 5 and 20 pounds every single day 6, 7, 8, 20 times a day you're lifting and not even thinking about it. It's not something you consciously think about. So when you're doing these meditations, what exactly are you focusing on to reach people when they're doing these meditations? What is your goal to get people to focus on when they're doing the meditations?
So Gabby, in the studio, you work with people to understand their posture, and you work with people to tighten their posture, and you work with people to engage their posture. My meditation, especially Lift, my daily routine, says, hey, there is an urgency here. This is serious stuff. So I say, hey, you're out there lifting all day. If you're a lifting person, you're lifting millions of pounds and generating a multiple of millions of pounds to the spine. So you need to protect yourself. I say, you're going to lift more than an NHL hockey player. You're going to lift more than a professional athlete. So you need to warm up like an athlete. You need to think of yourself as an elite athlete. And the good news is, Gabby, and my message, we chatted yesterday, my message is your message. It's incremental, a little bit every day, and it adds up so much. That's exactly what your message is. And so I say, hey, look, if you're going to be an elite athlete, you need to do 5 things in 10 minutes every day. And so you need to do breath work where you do deep belly breathing at least 5 times. Engage the respiratory system and the abdominal muscles, and start to talk to your core muscle even before you're lifting. Then I say you need to do stretching, right? You need to stretch the neck, the back, the hamstrings. So we go through a protocol for another 2 minutes. Then, totally in line with what you're saying, I say you need to do some strengthening. So if you do 25 push-ups a day, you go, that's nothing. But 25 push-ups a day, 250 days a year, is 6,250 push-ups or sit-ups. And then I say, if you're going to plank 1 minute per day, that's 4 hours per year. And if you do 4 hours of planking over a year, I've seen this in the office where we have, I could tell you 1,000 stories, right? We see patients come in. Let me tell you my best friend's story. My best friend came in with his brother, and his brother's really jacked, really big muscles. And my best friend, he was an athlete at one point, but he's not jacked. And so we got the MRIs looking at their spines, and we're looking at their psoas muscles, right? And so you're looking at the psoas muscles, and the jack guy has a really skinny psoas muscle, and the really muscular, and the really, my lanky friend, Jeff, I'll send him this link. My lanky friend, he has,
He'll love that, I'm sure.
amazingly massive psoas muscles. And so my point to you is, we've seen it over and over and over. With a year of planking a minute a day, you can double and triple the size of your psoas muscles, which is really, truly hope, which is so amazing. So you're getting these great big shock absorbers ready to lift. So we say you need to do strengthening. And then I recommend some aerobic activities, some high knees, some running in space, and some butt kicks, right? It just gets you going early in the morning. And then my 5th recommendation is I recommend for people to think of a 1/2 hour vacation. So my protocol, which is 10 minutes a day, right? And it adds up over a year. It's like the best 10 minutes of your day to prepare your body for a long life and slowly become an elite athlete. And so you do breath work, and you do stretch work and strength work and aerobic work. And my 1/2 hour vacation, I haven't allowed you to chat yet because I have a great story to tell you. So I submitted a sketch to Saturday Night Live, and they did not respond. They're probably going, who is this guy? And so I submitted a sketch so in my 1/2 hour vacation, in my penultimate meditation, Lift, what do I do daily? I recommend for people to take a half hour daily in the middle of their lunchtime and sit in quiet, turn off all cell phones, turn off all electronics, just sit quietly and engage sunlight, daylight, fresh air. So my scene for Saturday Night Live was a trucker, right? He goes, I like this. So he pulls up, he parks, turns off his cell phone, opens his windows. He's enjoying sunlight and daylight and fresh air. And then the camera is panning out. He's parked on the George Washington Bridge with helicopters coming in and cops chasing him. But that's my skit for Saturday. Maybe they'll pick it up now.
Maybe sometime. Maybe someday. Yeah, I think people underestimate how little bit of a time it actually takes to do these meditations. I think people think it's, an hour long, when really just even 5 to 10 minutes a day is beneficial. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day of planks, not planks. You don't have to do 10 minutes of a plank, but, just doing, a few sit-ups, doing planks, doing push-ups, and doing it every single day, or just 5 days a week, adds up over the course of the year to create strength, to create better posture, to create better core strength, to alleviate stress on the back and not have back pain. That it's a very small amount of change that can create huge results. And I think people really underestimate that for sure. So can anybody do these meditations? Is this for advanced people, or is this for anybody off the streets that wants to start doing meditations?
So before you go to anybody, right, and everybody, which the answer is yes, I just I want to give you, I'm hogging your interview, so I therefore wish to give you an opportunity to tell me how you use posture in your studio, please.
How do I use posture? Oh, everything we do is posture. Everything that we do when we do Pilates is concentrating on keeping shoulders down, keeping the neck back. A lot of people, when they're doing exercises, start to creep the shoulders up into their ears, or protrude their chin forward when they're doing an exercise, or tuck their shoulders forward. There are some exercises where we do have them tuck the chin to chest and curl forward, but we try to do exercises that are also extension of the spine to counteract a lot of forward head movement. So anything that we do when we're doing anything, when we're supine, we have them make sure that they're either in a neutral spine, or they're flattening the spine. We'll do pelvic lifts or pelvic curls where they're articulating the spine. So everything we do in Pilates is concentrated on the spine and movement of the spine.
So as I continue to interview you, why don't you tell us, what is neutral spine? I'm sure your people want to know about it. What is neutral spine?
Neutral spine is the natural curvature of your spine. So what your spine is supposed to be in a natural curve. So I tell people, you want to get into good posture, right? And certainly your neck has a belly shape, and your belly has a belly shape, and your mid-back has a reverse belly shape. Mm-hmm. So you want to get into good posture, but you don't want to be stiff. Mm-hmm. You want to really enjoy it, get into a good posture, and take a deep breath. That is the most efficient position. So actually, speaking of good posture, before we get back to if anybody can do this, you did say yes, but you consider yourself or your team the world posture master. And you told me a story about you as a child and sitting in good posture. And I think that's what a lot of people think about when they're doing meditations. Can you tell us a little bit about that story and posture and how you started meditation as a child?
So let me address the title World Posture Master. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone else is running for it, but to say it would get you 1,000 comments. So I would like to say that I am a worshiper of posture. Okay. I'm in service of the world and people. Yeah. It's rather precocious to say world posture master, even though we
Yes.
said it.
Yeah.
So, but so I'd like to. We love the title. Our team loves the title, but we disclaim the title
Yes.
with great love.
Yes.
Let me tell you a story. The story you're chasing is I was a young boy, and my mom was I had this funny story. It's as I get older, I start to appreciate my dad more, and you'll understand why quickly. And so my mom, I love my mom. I love my mom, and I would sit in prayer with my mom. We had a prayer room, and she would make me listen to those words. She would make me sit in the lotus position with a straight spine and breathe in through one nostril and breathe out through the mouth and say the mantras. And the way she would make me do this, in Indian culture, there is a really religious plant called the Tulsi plant. And the Tulsi plant has medicinal values that are incredible. But the Tulsi plant can also be peeled back to make an amazing whip. And so with my mom, I would sit there and I'd certainly be in good posture. And certainly I would say the mantras the way the monks would, or the people that dedicate themselves to finding God, right? You say the mantra, you take a deep breath and you say, Om Namah Shivaya, or whatever you say. Or if you're a Christian person, you would say Om Jesus, like that. I'm not trying to convert anyone to anything, but that's the technique for finding God. But so that's written and described. That's not me. I'm no monk. Anyway, but anyway, I would do it in great posture and in great position because my mom had a Tulsi whip. And I honestly, I don't think, I really engaged spiritually with the meditations. I did not. But later I found that there's studies, it was 2011, out of Harvard, Britta Holzel, Holzel, did the first study. It was amazing. So what she did was she took people that meditated and people that don't meditate, and she put them in an MRI scan with functional MRIs. And there is plasticity quickly. In 6 weeks, they found their subjects had brain changes, which is neuroplastic brain changes. And so over time, I've come to realize that with the intention of meditating, you can sit back in beat up gym clothes and with your feet on the table and your head back and your arms spread out, and you're in any position. And if you're meditating, the brain changes, says the MRI scan study, and that's positive neuroplasticity.
So what you're saying is that it doesn't matter how you meditate, or if you're completely in it, or if you are in the lotus position with the spine straight, no matter how you are meditating, the intention of meditation, beginner or advanced, creates brain changes.
Certainly, right. Certainly the yogi in Himalayas that's trying to find God would certainly say, hey, look, there's only one way to get close to God. Lotus position, chanting his name, absolute isolation. But the studies, the MRI scan studies, are showing that everyone can benefit from meditation.
Sure. And if your goal is not to get close to God and be in the Himalayas, that's not, that's a whole different story, right? You're just trying to de-stress.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
be thoughtful.
Be thoughtful, I guess. Yeah. I mean, your intentions are completely different. So back to, circling back to the question is, yes, any person can do these meditations. And if the intention is there, then the change will come, and the meditation will help because the intention is there.
So please allow me to state, so I went, when I was creating these meditations with my dear Dr. Greg Knowles, he is amazing. These guys are amazing musicians based out of Juilliard and professors at Juilliard. They're just incredible. But as I was creating the meditations, I would ask my patients, does this help you? I would test it with my patients. And so one patient said, he was a truck driver, and he said, no one ever has told me that planking is going to help my day and help my lifting every single day. No one has told me that. Just that one piece of information is so valuable to me, doctor. That's what he said. And I was touched by that.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to know that it doesn't have to be all in or all out. And we did talk about that yesterday. It, People think that they have to be CrossFitters or they have to be in the gym every single day for an hour. Or I think the rhetoric on exercise is definitely changing. And I'm here trying to change that, and meditation as well, is that it doesn't have to be so overwhelming that you just don't do it, because it's the small steps and it's the little things that add up over time that make such a huge difference. So yes, even just a plank for 30 seconds, and you can do 30 seconds a day or 30 seconds twice a day, which adds up to a minute, and they have these little challenges where it's like 30-day challenges, and you start with 10 seconds, then you do 15 seconds, then you do 20 seconds, then you do 30 seconds, and add from there. And you can go all the way up to a 5-minute plank in 30 days. And it's just kind of that, doing that every single day kind of clicks in people's heads, like, oh, I can do this every day. What is a minute every day? What is 1 minute out of your day?
People and patients are looking for ancient secrets right there. If someone says ancient secret to help with back pain, well, the big ancient secret is, well, engage the core muscles, engage the psoas muscle 30 seconds a day. And before you know it, it's like, you use it, it gets stronger and stronger. It doesn't take much to stimulate it to grow. And then over a couple of months, you're like, oh my goodness, I could feel my core when I'm lifting and when I'm moving.
Well, what I say to clients all the time is that people are trying to reverse something that you do every single day. So, oh, my shoulder hurts, or I have carpal tunnel, or I have, issues with my knees. Well, you're doing something every single day, every day, that's causing whatever this is to happen. So you have to do something every single day to reverse what you're doing every single day. It only makes sense. How do you stop something from hurting or stop something from being injured when you're doing something every day to re-injure it? When you're sitting at a desk or when you're on your phone every single day looking down every day, and let's say you're on your phone 2 hours a day. You're on your phone 2 hours a day looking down at your phone every single day, and you're doing nothing to reverse that, you're going to start to slump over. It just is.
So the mathematics behind the formula is, 2 hours a day, which is some kids do 4 hours a day. So
Right.
if you're doing 2 hours a day, 700 hours a year, which is an amazing amount of hours. So my meditations is about bringing care and deep thinking and thoughtfulness into your life to protect, preserve, and to boost your spine health.
Yeah. So you said, we talked about brain entrainment. I wanted to touch a little bit about NLP in case people don't know what it is. What exactly is that? And you do use that in your meditation as well.
So we talked about really transcendental meditation, lotus position, either a mantra or no mantra, just sitting, listening to your thoughts. Mm-hmm. And then certainly before we get to NLP, there is a strategy which is taught by my bestie. When I found out about him, I called him up and I said, "You're my best friend for life." The gentleman named Maury Zelkovich, and he does brainwave entrainment. And so what he does is he uses phones on the ears And so the right ear will send a message to the left brain, and the left ear will send a message to the right brain. And so typically we are very worried, left brain dominant people, and our left brain is dominating the situation. The right creative brain, the musical brain, has no opportunity to express itself. So Maury uses brainwave entrainment, which is when he uses audible sounds. So on the right ear, he'll send calming messages to that crazy upsided left brain, and then on the left ear, he'll send messages to the right brain to turn up the amplitude. And I can tell you, my favorite track for him is Edenwave. When you do Edenwave with Maury Zelkovich, it is it sets me right emotionally. It's an amazing track. And so the next step is then NLP. NLP is a strategy which is neuro-linguistic programming. And so, just to be completely honest, we use it as a design, not so much for the true neuro-linguistic recommendations, but it's amazing. So in the NLP, what happens is there's a center channel, right? The speaker speaks to the center channel of the brain, and that's me. I'll say in this, I'll say, the world has a problem. Their heads down, like that. And then in the right ear, which talks to the left brain, my producer, Dr. Greg Knowles, will say, when your head is straight up, it weighs 10 pounds. And when you lean forward, it weighs 60 pounds, and like that. And then in the left ear is the calming, motherly, beautiful voice of Dr. Griffin Hansraj. And she says, I'll try to imitate her. I'm sure she'll listen to the interview. So she says, keep your head up. Be careful of where your head is in space. Bend your knees when you lift. And she gives all of these beautiful healing advice. And so NLP really says you have right ear and left ear, you have these voices. And when you use the center channel, it bypasses the subconscious. I don't know if we did that because we didn't really have right ear and left ear going at the same time, the center channel at the same time. We used it for the NLP effect. Mm-hmm. So I would say, this is the problem. And then you would get, these are the mathematics. And then you would get, and these are the solutions sequentially, not at the same time. I think it's a beautiful effect.
So if people are looking to find these meditations, where would they find them?
Wherever songs are sold. So if you search for Lift Meditations to Boost Back Health, it's wherever songs are sold. I'll send this interview to Audible. We're working with Audible to list us on Audible. That's coming next.
Okay.
But it's on Amazon, it's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, it's everywhere.
Okay, so Lift is what it's called.
Yeah, Lift, Meditations to Boost Back Health.
Meditations to Boost Back Health. And if anybody wants to find out more information about you, they can go to drken.us.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to leave our listeners with today? Anything else you feel that is important they need to know?
So I would say, please check out the meditations. They're nice. They allow you to be deeply thoughtful and how you carry your spine through the day, and that will help you. Posture is incredible in Feel Good, and proper posture is a weapon in augmenting your body and in augmenting your. Let me share one more story with you. I was just skiing in Aspen, and I met a coach who spent 32 years on embracing posture as you ski. And he says you keep your head up and you look straight out on the horizon, and then you turn left and you turn right with your head, and your body follows. It's very gentle. But then he told me that professional ski athletes use the head up, look way into the horizon, because they get that 1/10 of a second view advantage, which is what it takes to win. So proper posture is incredible for your health. and your performance. And I would say check out the meditations.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I will post some links in the show notes and some great information. I love it. I think posture is so important. Joseph Pilates himself said the age of your spine determines your actual age and not that number of years old you are. So posture is very, very important, and the spine health is very, very important. So thank you so much. If you're looking for meditations for back pain, Lift is the way to go. And you can also find his research for the 5 forces as well. You can look that up also. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This is great. Excellent.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you all next week.
Thank you so much for listening to the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with your host, Gabrielle Mazar. If you would like more information on today's episode, you can find it in the show notes and on Gabrielle's website at www.destinationfitcations.com. Visit to keep an eye out for upcoming fitcations. Be sure to share the show, give this podcast a review, and subscribe so you won't miss an episode. Join us next week to hear more stories from people just like you. This has been the Fit Minute Podcast, Fitness for Real People, with Gabrielle Mazar.